is up, my planting people? My name is Lithius and welcome to Roots Ready. If it's your first time here today, I would like to say a huge welcome. And if it's not, I would like to say thank you so much for choosing to watch this channel and being here with me today. So massive love for that. Today is going to be another video, a quick one hopefully, where I will be doing another update on some plants that I recently imported from Thailand. Now I've got 3 of them, and if you'd seen my original video, and if you haven't, definitely go see that. You would see that it was a very surprising unboxing for myself because I just didn't know what to expect. But at the moment, I'm just trying to acclimate these bad boys and get them into a good space, so that they can continue to do their thing and continue to grow and thrive for me in my space. Now we're going to go through and look at the roots. I'm going to give you some updates in terms of how the plants are doing, any changes I've made to the environment, or to the substrate for these plants. We'll go through them in detail. So starting off and in order of unboxing is this one right here, which is my variegated bone mark. Now 1 week on from my previous video, you'll see that there isn't much in the way of changes to the original leaves. They still look the same, they look great. Just look at the marking on that is wonderful. This is just your standard green one, and this one I'm really happy about because you don't ever want it to have too much. You'll see that there's a little string of hearts leaf in here that fell off. I just thought we'll stick it in there, see what happens. Nothing, if you're wondering. Anyway, so let's go ahead and uproot this plant. So what I will say about this plant is that I have noticed that some of the new growth points are continuing to grow. They are getting longer, especially the one that's in this leaf right here, the fully green one. That's definitely growing. The others seem to be doing the same, seem to be doing well. I've literally just noticed, wow, okay, that there is another leaf coming out of this variegated one over here, the highly variegated one. There's another leaf I can see underneath, and one also from here. So this plant seems to be doing okay. I haven't actually watered this plant since my previous video, so it's been about a week. I might have given it a little bit, maybe a little bit, but not much, just because I've noticed that the moss is still okay. It hasn't dried up completely, but what I can see is that there isn't much change in the way of roots. Oh look, there's another little shoot coming out here. I wonder if you guys can see that. Yeah, so yeah, there's not much in the way of new root growth. There's no root rot or anything like it. The plant seems to be doing the same. However, the actual plant itself seems to be growing. So there's definitely, it looks like the plant is making a choice to shoot out new growth. Next up is this bad boy, my Radicans. As you can see, this leaf over here is definitely a lot more yellow than it was before. I'm not going to cut it off because it's still serving as, the plant, some good, because it's still got some green in it, so it should still be able to photosynthesize from that point. So I won't cut that off, I'll just let it naturally fall off and wait for it to get completely yellow before giving it a big chop. Okay, so I'm just going to pull the plant out and see how it's doing. So cool, so I've got the plant out. What I can see is I can notice a little bit of root rot on some of these roots, these older roots. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chop those off. I'm going to give this plant a spray of Super Thrive, and then I'm going to pot it back up in the same mix because it seems to be doing okay here. The roots aren't too damp, which is good, so I'm definitely not over watering, which is something that I was really concentrating on, so I'm happy about that. So that was plant number 2, this is the Radicans. We're going to move on to plant number 3 and have a look at the roots and see how it's doing. Next is the Magnificum crossed with the Regal. I keep messing it up. I keep saying Radicans, but it's not. It's the Regal. So first thing that you will notice is that Unfortunately, there is a yellowing leaf. Look at it, it makes me so sad. This is the oldest leaf on the plant. So again, I'm not too worried. These things are to be expected when you import plants, just because they do go through stress. So I'm not too overly surprised about that. I am upset, but you know, the main leaf, the biggest, newest leaf is still very green, very, you know, rigid. I've also noticed that this leaf also seems to have a growth point just here. So let's see if I can show that to you, just above, just around here. And there is like the first signs, the first signs of a leaf poking its head out from under there. So hopefully we'll have another leaf to replace this one when it eventually falls off. We're gonna have a look at the roots and see how things are doing under there. Okay, so here we go. It's not looking very happy, I must admit, if you look at the roots. So what I'd realized is when I took this plant out of the leca, is that the seller had actually cut off a lot of the main roots, and quite high up as well. I have heard stories of sellers doing this. Maybe it's to save on shipping, because it's a little bit cheaper, because the plant weighs a little bit less. So this plant suffered the most root rot damage when I received it. You can see like what I mean. Like a lot of these roots have been cut, you know, flush to the stem. Yeah, that's such a shame. It does look, however, like it has some new roots which are emerging. Like this one over here. This is a white root that was not here previously. So it's shooting out some stuff. It's got some life in it. Yeah, let's pot these bad boys up and keep our fingers crossed that they survive and they continue to do well. Yeah, this is not what I was hoping for. I was hoping to come back to full set of roots. Obviously that was a bit ambitious of me, but anyway, that's completely fine. So that was it. I probably won't be up potting or taking these plants out of this mix going forward, again, not for a while anyway, just to let them settle in. I don't want to stress them out too much, so if I can do that maybe once a month, maybe once every twice a month at most, I'll try to limit it to that. I'm not gonna panic just yet because the plant still seems to be doing okay. This one over here has loads of roots left. There was a little bit of root rot as we saw, but that's been taken care of. This one over here had the least amount of roots, but that was from the very start, and the way that it was delivered. What I have done, actually, I should say, is that I now have these guys under a grow light. My next plan and hope for these is to get myself a heat mat and put these on top of them, and hopefully that will help to encourage some root growth. And I'm going to continue to water them with some Super Thrive, and also I'm going to start giving them some nutrients, some plant food from next week. All in all, still a happy bunny. Still excited to have these plants in my collection. I am planning to do one more update on these guys just to show you how they fare, especially once I have the heat mat in my possession. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was it. I really do appreciate every single one of you. Every person who watches this channel motivates me to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep sharing the good and the bad, as you can see in this video today. But yeah, so if you do like what I do, then please subscribe to this channel, hit that like button. You could also consider turning your notifications on if you want to be one of the first ones to see the videos as they are released. I'm also over on Instagram if you are interested in following me sort of behind the scenes, at Roots Ready. That's where you find me. But for now, that was it, and as always, keep planting.